It began like any typical morning, until I noticed the envelope resting neatly on the kitchen counter. My name was written across the front in handwriting I knew as well as my own. At first, I assumed it was just a note. Maybe he'd gone to work early or decided to check in on his mother. But the second I touched it, a knot formed deep in my stomach. Something about it felt final. The air in the house was heavy. Still. Like silence had taken on a life of its own. His shoes were gone from their usual place by the door. The bed hadn't been made. Every detail pointed to something being off. I stood there holding the envelope, my hands trembling before I even opened it, and somehow, I already knew. This wasn't just a note. It felt like the stillness before a storm breaks, when everything seems normal on the outside, but something deep inside knows the world is about to shift. I peeled it open slowly, my fingers stiff with dread. At the top of the page were just 2 words. Goodbye, Emmer. And just like that, my breath caught. The rest of the letter unfolded not as an accusation, but more like a quiet unveiling of truths, except they weren't his. They were mine. Laid bare in his calm, unwavering voice. He had known. For a while. From the night I came home wearing someone else's cologne, telling him I had stayed late at work. That was the beginning. The phone calls I took behind closed doors. The extra showers. The girls' nights that were anything but. He saw it all. What shattered me most wasn't that he figured it out, it was that he didn't confront me. Not then. He waited. Hoped. Gave me space to be honest. To tell him myself. But I never did. He wrote about watching me slip further away, becoming someone unfamiliar, someone unreachable. It chipped away at him day by day until there was nothing left but emptiness. He said he didn't hate me. And that hurt more than anything. He didn't rage or scream. His words were level, steady, aching but composed. He told me he loved me enough to walk away, because staying would only ruin us both. In that moment, it hit me. I had already ruined everything. I collapsed to the kitchen floor, the letter trembling in my grasp as tears poured from me, raw, relentless. It wasn't just guilt. It was clarity. I saw, with painful sharpness, the truth of what I had done. How selfish I'd been. How blind. I had thrown away something real, something patient, steady, and genuine, for something shallow and meaningless. The man I betrayed wasn't just a husband. He was the one who quietly did my laundry when I forgot, who rubbed my back when I felt anxious, who knew exactly how I liked my coffee, and kissed my forehead every night before we slept. I always thought he wasn't paying attention, but he had noticed everything. Quietly. Deeply. Without complaint. And I had taken him for granted. Desperate, I tried to reach him. His phone was off. I messaged him. Emailed. I even drove to his office, only to find he had taken an indefinite leave of absence. That's when I realized he hadn't left impulsively. This had been carefully thought out. Not driven by revenge, but by heartbreak. He needed space, not just from me, but from the life we had built together. The days that followed blurred into one another as I replayed every moment I had missed or ignored. The quiet stares during dinner. The mornings when he gently asked if I was okay and I'd smile and lie. The moments I didn't notice were the ones that mattered most. I told myself maybe he'd return. That time might heal what I broke. That maybe we'd talk. Try again. But weeks passed. Then months. Eventually, through mutual friends, I learned he had moved to a smaller town. Started over. He never badmouthed me. He simply said it didn't work out and left it there. I finally responded to his letter. Not with apologies. Not with explanations. Just truth. I was wrong. I loved him. And I destroyed something beautiful because I never truly understood what real love meant. He never replied. I didn't expect him to. He had already said his goodbye. That letter still lives in a drawer I never open. Folded neatly. Untouched. A quiet reminder of what love looks like when it's real, and what happens when it's taken for granted.